This video is sponsored by Botan Store, Channel Fireball, Pokemon Card.io, and Card Market. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video here at Tillman. Thanks so much for tuning in. As you can see, the green screen is back up. And today we're taking a look at the Sylvan deck that placed in top 4 at the Pokemon Online Global Championship, essentially Worlds 2021. If you want to take a look at it that way. Leafeon VMAX, and if you've watched my videos regarding Leafeon VMAX, you know how much I actually really like the card, and obviously it's a pretty good card overall, and it did pretty well. Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. It's a consistent card. It does what it needs to do very consistently and very well. Has the increase in retreat cost as a sort of gimmick, if you will. But the fact that you can play 4 Quick Ball and then Tail 9 with it is really good. And now this list played a bonus Absol with the Dark Ambition, increasing the retreat cost of basic Pokemon. Obviously, against VMAXs that's not useful at all, but against tag teams, definitely an impactful card. And it played other cool stuff like Marshadow to make sure that Chaotic Swell didn't stop your Galar Mine, Mewtwo to recycle supporters as well, which is really good. And good protection against Marnie, right? You bench the Mewtwo, you put the supporter you need at the top, and you're like, well, I dare you to Marnie me, and if they do, you get the supporter. If they don't, then they didn't Marnie you, and you got the supporter anyway, so it's a win-win. Has the Echoing Horn as well to put a basic Pokemon for your opponent's discard pile onto your bench, messing with whatever they might try to do. And yeah, outside of that, it has a nice variety of supporters with Erigas and Phoebe. Phoebe also recyclable through Mewtwo to bypass a Mazenta, which is pretty good. Otherwise, Look Metal is a pretty bad matchup for this deck. And this list, easy to transition into post-rotation as well. Obviously, Mewtwo, Marshadow, and Absol do need to be gone, but Mewtwo's absence can be made up for by playing extra copies of supporters or even an Eldegoss if you really wanted to. The Marshadow is no longer needed because there's no more Chaotic Swells, so you don't really need to counter a Stadium before playing yours. You can just play yours, so that's pretty good. And then Absol, there's no direct replacement. There's no other way to increase retreat cost, and the format's going to be focusing on evolutions now with VMAXs anyway, so it's not a big loss. We do lose the reset stamp, that's for sure. We're gonna go 1-for-1 on the Marnie replacement right there, adds a supporter to our count, adds a little bit more disruption as well, so not too bad. And we do lose the Erigas, which could simply be the 4th research, could be a different type of supporter. I did already add a bonus supporter. Things that you could do could be Raihan to search to attach an energy and get a stadium in case you fell behind in your energy attachments. I guess Spinner is gone as well, but that simply becomes energy search, so that's pretty easy to replace. Now, in terms of supporters, though, let's think about it for a second. Sword and Shield series. All right. So in terms of supporters, something that's not research and something that's not Marnie, I did have personally a Bird Keeper in my list. Since you are increasing your own retreat cost, it could potentially help. There's merit to Avery as well. I feel like you probably won't be punished for playing Avery. And with Inteleon being played so much, Avery can actually do a lot of damage. So 1 copy of Avery is what I'm liking here, just for variety, giving you the option, potentially weakening quite a bit Eternatus if you go up against that. In the mirror match, like imagine they have their Leafeons and then the full lineup of Inteleons, then you can potentially either deny bonus damage. It also weakens Suicune a little bit. So I don't know. A well-timed Avery can be really powerful. Bird Keeper is another option to consider, that's for sure. Pretty cool card to have. And because you can search for cards, like you could literally play any card. You could play Copycat as well. There's merit to that. What else? What else is there merit to? Gordy, not quite. Definitely not. Never mind. Gym Trainer, also nope. I mean, I feel like Raihan would be the other option you would consider, but with your ability and everything, I don't think you really need to. So I kind of like, I do like the Avery, and then obviously this deck ended up playing a thinner Inteleon line. My first instinct would be to just bump these to 4/4 and a second Shady Dealings Inteleon. That just increases the consistency of the deck overall. You can also bump the searching cards for them as well. Wouldn't be a bad idea either. But I do like the idea of just making the deck as consistent as possible. Playing the 4/4/2/2. I feel like my promise to myself next season is just play a 4/4/2/2 line of Inteleon the whole season. Like that means you're maximizing consistency in your deck, and if you can play that with 4 quick roll and 4 capture energy, like your chance of dead drawing are so low that it's definitely worth it. So this would be how I would start playing Leafeon in the new standard format post rotation. If we see that Zamazenta ends up being too popular, too powerful, then perhaps a second copy of Phoebe might be useful. Perhaps an Eldegoss in order to recycle the Phoebe could be important or impactful to be utilized. But for now, I would go ahead and play with this version of Leafeon VMAX. This is a pre-rotation version, the deck that we played yesterday. And so let's jump into a ladder. Hopefully we are a few days away from rotation. Most people should be playing post-rotation at this point. It'll be official on Friday, but let's see what we can do with this deck. We lost a conflict. My opponent chose to go first as expected. We get a a hand. Like there's just no way to say anything else about this. I literally got a hand, and that was it. I'll go ahead and do this. I'll go ahead and do this. And I'll attach the energy to myself. Okay, so how many cards? Like, even getting this is potentially good enough. So we have 3, like, to at least keep us going, right? 3, 4 outs with the energy search. Quick Ball does find me Crobat, except I priced it, so never mind, it's not an out. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 outs, that's not a lot. So my chance of winning this game is probably less than 25%. Definitely not very good. And then, I don't have a lot of good outs right here. I was gonna mention Avery against single strike decks, definitely pretty good, right? Definitely potentially very good. Alright, so my opponent does research away the Marnie, not very nice. Probably we just end up losing next turn, but I mean, with this hand, there's nothing really I could have done to stop it or prevent it or anything, Really, literally nothing. Yep. I'll power myself up, I guess, and we'll probably get the GG. A switching card, a Houndoom, and an energy does the trick. Probably out of this game. And even if I'm not, like, what expectations could I really have at this point, honestly? Yeah, what expectations could I actually have? Interesting choice to power up the Umbreon. That's the second urn, now discarded. So now, like, starting to see a little bit of potential. Not too much. I can never one-shot this. So I would need to top the game Marnie. If I top the game Marnie, then maybe. That's not a Marnie though. So I get a knockout. My opponent does need Urn, otherwise they can't KO me. So I guess that's my one saving grace. How am I still in this game? I don't know. But hey, we'll take a knockout, and if my opponent doesn't have Urn, we actually have a chance. Somehow, some way. Alright, we'll take our 2 prizes. Ordinary Rod, not useful. Subble, questionable. Subble, questionable, subble. Alright, there's the urn. So I'll just go ahead and concede. No point in staying in this game. Questionable, subble. I mean, when you start 2 stadiums, a boss, and your 3 VMAXs, the only 3 cards that you play, that's just Pete CGO being Pete CGO when your name is Table 1. Yeah, not much you can do about that. Not much you can do about that. Alright. I would like to go first, so already much better than the previous game. Like you don't need more than this. Yeah, you really don't need more than this. Going first, you get your attachment immediately. Really don't need more than that. The 2 evolution instances really help here. The energy search is not priced, so I am guaranteed that as well next turn. So it's just overall really good. You know, overall really, really good. Let's not misclick the energy. Perfect. And there we go. There we go. Alright, we see the rem rate, we see the capture energy. I could search for energy search for a boss. So I could just knock out Urshifu next turn. It's not bad at all. Actually, I don't even need boss. Nice. Yeah, this is really, really good actually. So definitely want to evolve into this, grab myself the energy search, have the guaranteed attachment. Let's do this. And so here's the thing. Yeah, here's something important that I think comes up a lot. I have incense and I can search for the VMAX, and then I have the other incense to search for another drizzle. If I had a supporter in my hand, I would absolutely not search for this drizzle, okay? Because then, like, I eliminate the option of the drizzle. However, I know my opponent didn't do anything going second, so I'm gonna go ahead and research here. I'm not going to Marnie. Avery is also really good against Sylvan. Yeah, the more I've talked about Avery, the more uses I found for it. Alright, don't need the Phoebe right here. Can establish my next Leafeon so I can start powering it up. My hand is dead for next turn, but I don't need much. And I am taking 2 prizes plus getting a top deck, so that's 3 potential outs. And then I can establish a Sobble. I just got a Marnie, which normally I would know that I priced a Marnie, so it's an acceptable risk to leave myself supporterless. I mean, not that I had a chance or any say in it overall. But yeah, Avery also good against Sylvan decks. So good against Sylvan, good against Intillion decks, good against Eternatus. Avery seems like a good tech card to have in pretty much every deck. And interesting, we see a Leafeon in the Sylvan deck. Leafeon, Sylvan, obviously they rhyme, Pablo. Don't be surprised by that. Tower of Waters gets removed. That's completely okay. I can dedicate another energy to this Leafeon. No problem. I could also go boss, KO the Octillery. But nah, just hitting the Sylvan seems good. Okay, using Leafeon to power up Sylvan. I kind of like that. I actually kind of like that. Alright, let's just establish another Sobble. We'll go ahead and do this. And we'll go ahead and Marnie right here. Don't find the stadium, which is fine, but I can just scoop up net to find the stadium anyways, right? So if I find this stadium, I'm hitting 4 to 40. So the 2 damage counters don't really matter at all, right? 4 damage counters to 42. 4 damage counters do matter, so that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I use quick shooting here. And then I'll go Scoop Up Net on this guy. And then, oh my gosh. These guys, both of these guys just got benched. Oops. Never mind. Alright, I'm still gonna try. I'll fail this. I still have 2 copies of the stadium, so I'll go ahead and play the Crobat. Oh, I'm actually doing 0 damage. Oh my gosh, I'm actually doing 0 damage. I did not consider that properly. I mean, it's fine. I'll just take the KO next turn. I'll search for a stadium. I'll do 240 plus the 40 280 plus 2 more potential quick shootings. Well, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen next turn. It's still okay. Playing the Scoop Up Net or not wouldn't have changed this, so it doesn't really make that big of a difference. Like, it'll take me another turn, I'll place the damage counter, and then should be fine. Yeah, really should be a-okay. Next turn is when we could see the Avery actually come into play. My opponent probably ends up discarding Crobat and Leafeon, of course. You see the Max Harmony, maximizing the damage output, that's fine. Alright, so I do get the boss. So I feel like I Avery this turn. I think that's fine. And an Avery, draw 3 cards. My opponent will discard these 2, I'm assuming. Alright, Leafeon and Crobat. Yep, that is correct. I'll go ahead and touch the grass. I'll go ahead and evolve this guy. Grab the stadium now. Definitely should have thought about this more last turn, but it's fine. And then I'll do this, right? And I have game in hand. I do 240 plus the 60. I need to do quick shooting into boss KO. And that's the game. Or boss KO the Oranguru, because if they play another stadium, their retreat cost of this becomes 0. The retreat cost of this becomes 0. The retreat cost of this is only 1. But, oh, the Oranguru actually has the thing, so never mind. Ooh. Okay. Well, that's a problem now. I mean, they need a counter stadium. Otherwise, I can't just KO the Crobat. Interesting. Yeah, the ribbon means I don't win next turn by knocking out this. Now I'm forced to knock out Crobat or Urshifu. So my opponent needs to counter a stadium. If they don't counter a stadium, the game's over. And it doesn't seem... They didn't search for the counter stadium. So I think the game is over. Right, Max Harmony. I believe the game is now over. Yeah, it should be. It absolutely should be. Alright. So we will go bring up you. We will use quick shooting by you. I do this so that my opponent doesn't take their time promoting something else, right? And there's the victory. Yep. All I needed to do was attack, and that was going to be game over. So even though I wasted a turn, it didn't end up mattering. Definitely should have not wasted that turn, right? Absolutely should not have let that happen. I completely forgot not only that I didn't have my own stadium, so I wasn't doing bonus damage, but also that they were doing less damage. So what I should have done was commit the energy to the active, attack for 170, right? And just be done with that. But it's okay. Worked out in the end, all right. Okay, so we are going to mulligan and we are going second, so that's not ideal against a Zamazenta coin, so that could be very scary. And now we have another classic dead hand right here. At least I get an energy attachment, right? At least. Yeah, well-timed Avery against single strike decks could be very good, depending on how many Houndoms they have and whatnot. Ooh, but it's actually Eternity, so I hope I get to use the Avery. Right. See, switch, very nice. Does have the attachment as well, so I'm probably dead now. I'm just gonna get KO'd next turn. But it's out of my hands, right? It's literally nothing I can do about it with this particular hand. So nothing I can do about it. Oh, okay, now I can now I can do something about it. Can Greening Cells onto myself and hope that my opponent misses the KO. That's the only way. Very unlikely, but possible, right? Very unlikely, but possible. There's the energy, there's the Pokemon. If my opponent misses the energy, I mean the KO, then maybe I have an actual chance. Oh, okay. I was like, not going for the Eternatus, that's good news, but then they just have the Eternatus, so never mind. So now they need two basic Pokemon. Shouldn't be that hard. They haven't played a supporter yet. They haven't played a supporter. This pause, I imagine, is they have Marnie, and they were debating whether using it or not, but no, it was actually just, should I bench the other Crobat or should I discard the other Crobat? Like, it would make no sense to just discard the Crobat, right? So that pause, I feel like is an example of inexperience of my opponent, for sure. Like, there's no other explanation for that pause, honestly. Just no other explanation. So my Leafeon dies, just barely. And like, completely different story if I win the coin flip, right? So winning the coin flip, definitely a big deal. Pokemon, also a big deal. Pokemon, also a big deal right here. So we do a lot of damage, but not quite enough to get the one shot anyways. There's no way to increase the retreat cost more. Maybe we'll get a Pokemon later on that does increase the retreat cost artificially. The quick pull probably be for another Eternatus, you'd imagine. Yep. There we go. So I need to top deck a Drizzle, right? Basically, I need to top deck a Drizzle. Otherwise, the game is absolutely over. And even if I do top deck it, it's probably still over. There's the Dreadend. And that is not a Drizzle. So, I mean, the game goes on, but the game is out. Yeah, I'm just gonna concede. Yeah, there's no point. There's no point. And look, the two games where I didn't play a supporter, I lost. The game where I actually got to play, I won. Coincidence? I think not, right? Out of my hands, right? Out of my hands, I don't think that that's a problem. How often do you draw all 3 VMAXs in your hand? I would love to know the chances of that happening, because they're probably very low. Nothing you can do about it, right? Out of my hands. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for bearing with me with this cough. It's better today than it was yesterday. Hopefully continue on that trend and I finally get rid of it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a like and let me know if there's any particular deck that you'd like to see post rotation. I would love to hear from you in the comment section down below. Bye.